Mrs. Martin, and I'll be reading Chapter 13 of Cleo Edison Oliver, starting on page 143. When you hear this sound, you know it'll be time to turn the page. Chapter 13, A Minor Setback. Cleo spent the rest of the weekend on the couch, watching recordings of Fortune, with a trash can nearby, just in case. Mom and Josh got the bug too, so Dad ended up being nurse, cook, although no one felt like eating much, and janitor all weekend long. Barkley took turns in their rooms, lying on the floor near their beds. Church was not an option Sunday morning, and they had to cancel their visit with Melanie, the boys' first mom. Usually it was the other way around. Melanie may have been flaky, but Cleo liked her. She always brought Cleo a little gift along with whatever she brought for the boys, a coin purse or a beaded bracelet or a headband. Sunday night, after everyone was in bed, Josh appeared at Cleo's door, his Superman blankie draped over his arm. "I can't sleep." Cleo lifted her head, not the tiniest bit sleepy. She'd been thinking about her business. "Come on." She pulled back her covers. He slipped in beside her and snuggled close. Cleo had shared a room with Josh after they'd gotten him and JJ from foster care, before the house add-on was done. She had just turned 6. Josh was not yet 2. He cried every night, it seemed, sucking his Superman blankie until the thing was half soaked. He would often end up in her bed, rubbing her hair between his fingers until he went back to sleep. It had made her feel good to be the big sister, helping her new brother feel a little less scared. He couldn't rub her sleep cap-covered braids, but he didn't seem to want to. She heard him sucking on his thumb. She didn't try to stop him, even though the dentist had warned that if he didn't, there'd be permanent damage to his teeth. At least he didn't do it publicly like JJ. Why didn't Melanie want us anymore? Cleo felt a pit in her stomach. It was a horrible, awful question that she wished didn't have to be asked or answered, even though she knew the right thing to say. It's not that she didn't want you, Joshy. She just couldn't keep you. But why? She couldn't take care of you and JJ the way you needed. I know it's hard, but if you hadn't come, I wouldn't have 2 great brothers, and that would be horrible. She heard the pop of his thumb being released from his lips. And I wouldn't have you. He turned his head, looking up at her with his big cow eyes. That would be horrible too. Her heart squeezed in her chest, and she hugged her brother tighter. If only it were as easy to answer the same question for herself as it was to answer Josh, and if only the answer she'd given him were enough to satisfy her questions as well. She was glad she had Josh and JJ and her parents, but sometimes she felt like a piggy bank without a stopper. No matter how much money got put in, it was never filled up. Would it always feel this way? Monday morning, Cleo awoke alone. She wished her stomach still hurt and her body still hot with a fever, but neither was true. She felt totally normal and hungry, but she did not want to go to school. The story of how she'd gotten sick at the park would spread like a virus, and she would be reminded of her business failure over and over again. Mom came in, took her temperature, and told her to get ready for school. "I still feel sick," Cleo whispered hoarsely. You're fine, honey. Clearly, it was a 24-hour bug. Now get up and let's go. I'll give you a ride. And Kaylee? If she wants one. Before getting ready, Cleo searched her room for her backpack. She'd been so out of it on Saturday, she hadn't seen where Dad put it. She found the bag in her closet, everything from Saturday still inside, including the Nerf gun and Mom's breakfast cookies. With all of them being so sick, Josh hadn't remembered his gun, and Mom hadn't asked how the cookies had gone over. Cleo hated to have to break it to her that they'd flopped. When it was time to go, she left her backpack as it was, telling herself that she was bringing the extractor just in case. Maybe she could pull the teeth of a few customers before school and get the focus back on her fun business idea instead of on how she'd gotten sick at everyone's feet. She would even try again with the cookies. If Jimmy hadn't overreacted, the other kids might have eaten them. She and Mom had both experienced minor PR setbacks, but she could fix that. Cleo and Kaylee sat in the rear of the minivan. Cleo talked excitedly about the professional organizer she'd seen on Fortune. That's what you're going to do when you grow up, Kaylee. You'd be perfect at that job. Did you know you could make a career out of organizing? Kaylee shook her head, looking mystified. I'd hire you, Mom said. Our house needs some serious help in that department. Cleo felt a spark of excitement. That could be another business. Cleo and Kaylee's closet cleanup. Mom glanced over her shoulder. I'm not sure you're as qualified in the areas of cleaning and organizing as your friend. Cleo rolled her eyes, even though Mom was right. That's a catchy business name, though, Mom said. Speaking of which, how'd it go with the breakfast cookies? And do you have a name for them? Not yet. Cleo hoped she wouldn't ask more. And the test marketing? Cleo smacked her lips. She took a breath. Well, since I didn't really get to hand them out on Saturday, I thought I'd take them to school today. She paused. If that's okay with you. Sure, although they're a few days old, they may not be as good. Cleo didn't have the heart to tell her it probably wouldn't make a difference. I didn't think they were so bad. Mom eyed her in the rearview mirror. Nikki's breakfast cookies. They're not so bad. I don't know. I think it's missing something. Cleo turned to her friend. Kaylee had barely said a word since she'd shown up at their house. You okay? Kaylee looked out the window. Were her eyes watering? Cleo sat silently, not sure what to say. Mom and the boys started singing down at the station. Kaylee sniffled. Yeah, I'm okay. What's wrong? She shrugged. My dad made me go shopping on Rodeo Drive yesterday. She'd been shopping on Rodeo Drive, and she was crying? Oh my gosh! I was so dyed to be taken shopping there. Kaylee gave her a sour look. He brought his new you-know-what. Oh, like I even care about expensive clothes. Cleo swallowed. Yeah, they were quiet the rest of the way. Once they got to school, Kaylee had more to share. So there's more bad news. I just didn't want to say it in the car. Cleo spotted Tessa crossing the street. She grabbed Kaylee's arm. Can it wait? Customer, 2 o'clock. She raised her eyebrows and motioned with her head in the direction of their friend. Kaylee's forehead bunched and her eyes got all blinky. Cleo didn't have time to deliberate. "Tessa!" she shouted and waved. Were her loose teeth still in her mouth? If so, Cleo was going to offer to pull them right then and there. Tessa could pay her later if necessary. Her friend waved back, but then stopped to wait for Steffi, who was coming along the sidewalk. Cole Lewis walked up. "Were you there Saturday? I came at 1 and you weren't there." "Oh," Cleo stalled. She glanced at Kaylee, who stood there looking flustered. What was the big deal? He was just a boy. "I had a little problem. We had to close early." "Oh, okay." He was about to walk away. She could feel it. "Funny video, though," he said, turning to leave. "Wait a second." She grabbed him. He looked down at her hand, squeezing his arm. "Sorry," she said, laughing a little. She let go. He brushed off his sleeve with the tops of his fingers. Cleo regained her composure. "I can do it now, before school starts." She looked around the playground for a good spot. A spot where the recess monitor wouldn't see them. "Behind the portable!" she exclaimed. Cole looked startled. "Wow, you don't mess around, do you?" No, she didn't. Not when she had a chance to clean up her PR mess. If big man of the classroom Cole Lewis used her service, loads of kids would be lining up to do the same. She'd be back in business for sure. Kaylee pulled her off to the side. "Did you bring the Nerf gun to school?" she whispered urgently. "It's okay," Cleo whispered back. How had she managed to surround herself with such worrywarts? She held up her pointer finger to Cole and mouthed the words, "Just a sec." "It's just one extraction, Jelly. It'll be super quick. No one will even see us." "Cleo, you can't. You can get in serious trouble." Cole had his arms crossed. "Excuse me, are you done with your little meeting?" Cleo hurried back to her customer. Kaylee huffed and walked in the opposite direction. "I won't be able to video it," Cleo said. "I don't care. Do you have $1? 50 cents? 50 cents? That's all I got. Milk money." Cleo pursed her lips. "Okay, 50 cents. And you become my company's official spokesperson." Cole stroked his chin. You got a deal." He stuck out his hand and they shook. "The first person I'm going to send your way is my sister. She's driving my family nuts with all her whining." He jumped around on his toes, flapping his hands and making his voice go high. "Ooh, ooh, oh, my tooth! I can't eat! I can't brush my teeth!" He put his hands on his cheeks and pulled down, exposing the pink inside his lower eyelid. "It hurts!" Cleo laughed at his impersonation of Lexi. She was about to suggest they go do business when Tessa and Steffi walked up. "Oh my gosh, Cleo, are you all right?" Tessa asked. "You were so sick," Steffi added. "I'm fine. Thanks for, asking." She smiled nervously at Cole, who looked at her suspiciously. "Tessa, do you still have your canines?" "Yeah, I was hoping you'd pull them out for me." "Perfect! Follow me." Cleo bounded toward the portable. As soon as they were out of sight, everyone on the playground, she put her pack on the ground, got a missile ready, and loaded her extractor extraordinaire. "You can pay me later, Tessa," she told her friend. Within a matter of minutes, she had sent 3 teeth flying. Afterward, Cole gave Tessa a fist bump. "You are one tough girl," he said. She grinned, wads of gauze stuffed in her holes. The whistle blew. Cole gave Cleo a fist bump too. She held open her hand. "I think you owe me something else as well." "I was going to give it to you," he said, reaching into his pocket. He placed 2 quarters on her palm. "Oh, and I have something for you, too." She opened the bag of cookies. "My mom offered them as a gift to my customers." Tessa just squinted and said, "No thanks." Steffi also declined. "I'll have one," Cole said. "I never turn down cookies." He took a bite. His face contorted, and he spit it out. "Don't give these to your customers. They won't come back." Steffi and Tessa nodded, their faces apologetic. Cole dropped the cookie on the ground. "Maybe a squirrel or bird will want it, but I doubt it." Poor Mom. Back to the drawing board for her. As soon as they got into their room, Cole started grandstanding about the hole in his mouth. He paraded around, holding up his molar. "Yes, I am a proud client of Cleo's quick and painless tooth pulling." "Removal," Cleo corrected. "Huh?" Cole looked confused. "It's Cleo's quick and painless tooth removal service." "Oh, right. Anyway, it was quick, but it hurt like crazy." He held his cheek. "It's still throbbing." "Ow." Cleo glared at him. "Just joking. I barely felt a thing." He chortled. A real comedian, that kid. "When did you pull his tooth?" Jimmy asked. Cleo glanced at Kaylee. She looked away. "I thought you'd shut down your business after you lost your lunch on the sidewalk." Jimmy laughed. Several kids groaned. Mr. Boring's duck call quacked. Okay, that's enough." "So, Cleo, I've been wondering all weekend. How did it go?" "She had to take a sick day," Jimmy called out. "Jimmy," Mr. Boring warned. Cleo lifted her chin. "It's true, but I'm back in business. Tessa is another of my satisfied customers." Tessa grinned, showing off 2 big gaps. Cleo's stock was on the rise again.